I hope everyone is having a well, I guess it's midnight, so I don't know how good of a time everyone is having, but I hope your day was well yesterday. Anyway, I wanted to get on here earlier and I've been kind of busy today, so I didn't. So I'm doing this video now. Okay, I wanted to get on here and do a video about the David and Celeste case because it just don't add up or make sense to me. And I don't understand. Someone help me understand here. So I took some notes so we can kind of get like a timeline of David um, getting rid of or murking Celeste, getting rid of the body, and how they met, or just put all the pieces together. Okay, so that's pretty much what this video is about. It's about David and Celeste, and how that situation came about. So apparently, and just to let you all know, because I'm not going to keep saying allegedly, this is all alleged. Okay, I don't know these people. This is for entertainment purposes, and the information I'm giving you is based off the information I've seen in the news. Okay, so all right, let's get to it. So apparently, David met Celeste um when he was, I guess they were gaming. They were gamers, both online gamers, because you know that when you're playing video games you can chat and deal with other people. So what was it, I forgot the gaming thing. I said Roblox is not how he met her. Roblox was just that gaming network or that gaming site that end up using his music, like for promotional reasons or whatever. But it's another game they was on. What's up, Elk? A lake? Elake? What's going on? Hi, Jan. What's up? So yeah. So when he met her, they were both gamers. What's up, phoner? They were both gamers. And she was 11 and he was 18. 11 years old. He talking to 11-year-old, y'all. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it, phoner. Yeah. 11 years old, y'all. But y'all gotta be careful when y'all have y'all let y'all children play those video games. Cause I know a lot of parents, they just let their children play those video games. They playing with a whole bunch of people they don't even know. Grown people, young people, all types of people. And y'all just steady be buying those little gaming cards. Don't even know what y'all cheering over there doing. So David and Celeste. So he met her on there, and obviously the gamers knew that he was an older man, or he was older than Celeste, messing with her, and they didn't care. They was entertaining it. So anyway, he met her. She was 11. He was 18. That was in like January 2022. So like November 2023 is when they supposedly actually met in person. And that's when they actually had like an actual encounter with, you know what I'm trying to say, okay? So I guess they probably worked their way up to it. He met her in person and then they actually did the act, right? Now, during that time when they actually did the act, her family reported her missing with the police department, and the police was looking for her, and they knew that she was messing with David, so they reached out to David, and I bet she was right there with him, but they reached out to David and told him that this girl, they asked him did he know this girl named Celeste or whatever. He said no, he didn't know the girl, and he said he gamed with her but he didn't really know her. And they were like, well, it's this young girl. She's 11. I think at that time she was 13. She was 13 years old, and they were like, they showed him a picture of her, like her school picture. Those pictures you take at school for school day. And I know she looked super young, but he didn't care. He still went with it. He told the police he didn't mess with her like that. He knew who she was from gaming, but he didn't mess with her. So anyway, her family said, of course, she came up missing. So when she went back home, her family took her phone from her. Now, I know her family had got a bad rep when it came out last year that she was missing and they were looking for her. A lot of people were saying, like, where the family at? How the family not reporting her missing? So anyway, looks like the family did try their best to report, the fact that she was missing and try to find their daughter. And when she came back home, the family took the phone away from her. So what David did was, y'all, this man went and looked for her. Okay, at this time, he's about 19 years old, 19, 20, because that's 11, 12, 13. He 20 years old. So he went and looked for her in her neighborhood. And I guess it was children, local children in the neighborhood, probably around her age. He paid one child $1,000 to take her a phone. So he purchased a phone for her, and then he told the children in her neighborhood to find her and give her that phone. He was like serious about this girl, which is weird to me because I really feel like him and Neo had a relationship going on because they were real playful with each other. If you look at any videos with them two, you'll see Neo like hugged up on him, feeling on his butt, patting him on his butt, and just doing a lot of strange stuff. So maybe David's just bisexual and he goes both ways and likes both. I don't know. To me, I really feel like he probably wanted to have some experiences with a girl, but not really. Because a lot of times men will play around with women and don't even like women. I'm gonna I'm gonna go as far as to say gay men in particular. They will act like they like females, like they're okay with them. Oh, girl, girl, girl. And they cannot stand girls. Okay. They do not like girls. They look at girls as their competition. So, I don't know. I feel like David probably doesn't even like girls. Okay. He probably has a hatred towards girls. And that's probably why he chopped up her body. We gonna get there though. Anyway, so okay, so he's in her neighborhood. He's paying the children in her neighborhood to get this phone to her. So he leaves, he goes home. She comes up missing again in 2024, the end of 2024. So then the beginning of 2025, I guess she went back home, left again. So and then she went home, left again, and then in April of 2020, no, wait a minute, 2024. Okay, so that was in 2024. So she left home, went back with him. She kept doing that all 2024. Come 2025, in April is when they got into no. Come August of 2024, they broke up. They broke up in August of 2024. And all this can be tracked because of their text messages that they deleted. But of course, the police have a way of finding those deleted text messages. So they split up, but I guess they were still talking and chatting. And she really wanted to be with him. And so in April of 2025, she was messaging him that she knows he's messing with other people, and she was jealous, and she told him that she was going to report him. because she knew what she was doing was wrong, messing with this older guy, but she was still doing it. He knew it was wrong. What the prosecution is trying to say for the case is that when she threatened him and told him that she was going to turn him in, he invited her to his house, which was on April 24th of 2025. He invited Celeste to his house. He paid for Uber for her to get from her house to his house. Dumbest criminal ever. Okay? He paid for Uber for her to go from her house to his house. Okay? She gets there to his house. They see that the Uber did go to his house. Then he texts her about 20 minutes later and said, "Where are you? Where are you?" So he must have texted like 3 times asking where she was at. But the police know that the Uber went from her house to David's house. So what they thinking is when she got to his house, to David's house, they think he used something to stab her and kept stabbing her, and then called her, text her phone and tried to act like she never made it, just so he can, like, I guess, make sure he um what you call it, y'all know what I'm talking about. Why I can't even talk. He trying to act like she never made it to his house when we know she did make it to his house, okay, because the police tracked that. Anyway, so she get to his house. 20 minutes go by. He started texting her like 3 times. Then um he waited probably like less than an hour, and he left his house and he drove to Santa Barbara. Now the police are saying, or the prosecution is saying, during that time when he went to Santa Barbara, he was getting rid of her evidence, like her personal items and stuff, because they were able to track his phone because he took his phone with him. And they know that he took his phone to Santa Barbara, left his house, went to Santa Barbara. He also drove his Tesla, and the Tesla tracked his his location, and they know he went from his house to Santa Barbara. Now, in Santa Barbara is where they found Celeste's belongings. Like, I guess they didn't specify what belongings of hers they had. Maybe it was like a cell phone. Must have been a cell phone because they was able to find her, get her messages. But you could just get that by contacting the phone carrier. So I don't know. But anyway, police found some of Celeste's belongings in Santa Barbara, in the same area where David went to that night. So, dumbest criminal ever, right? So then David leaves Santa Barbara like early morning because he had an interview that he had to do. I think it was like he was getting an interview on a podcast. So he was at home and he was doing the interview from home. So he left early that morning, went home, did his podcast interview that somebody was doing of him, and then he went on about his day. So this was all in April, right? So that's April. So I think that's all that happened in April. So in July, they saying he drove the Tesla and went on tour internationally. So in July, he drove his Tesla again, and then he went on tour. And so I think in between that time, from April to July of 2025, he had some concerts, and then he ended up going on tour to different states. He started going to New York, Houston. He even went out the country as well. So then in September is when his car was reported to be abandoned around the corner from his house. And then it was almost like in front of someone's house, and so they contact a tow company or the police or whatever. Must have been the tow company. The car got towed to an impound lot, some type of impound lot, and because of the bad smell that was coming out of the front, which would have been like the trunk of the Tesla, the people at the tow lot, they called the police. The police came, opened the trunk up, and saw Celeste's head and torso in the same bag. And then up under that bag that her head and torso was in, they found her legs and her like feet and stuff. So like they saw a dismembered body. So of course they took her to the medical examiner. Within a couple of days, within a couple of weeks, they were able to determine by her dental records that that was indeed Celeste Hernandez. Just terrible, y'all. So also they were able to find out that she had took the morning after pill. She had an abortion. Now, I'm not sure how they were able to find out that information. I'm thinking maybe that happened like the previous year. And because if she was pregnant, it seemed like they would have like a body, still because it's still a baby, they would have an embryo or something, but they didn't say that. But they know that she did have an abortion. They believe it was, David's child. He gave her the abortion or gave her the money to get the abortion. So who would do an abortion on a little young girl without her parents' permission? I don't know. Maybe her parents took her to get her abortion. Maybe that's how the police found out. We don't know yet. Anyway, on her torso, her arms were still attached to her torso, but her ring finger on her left hand and I think that was her left hand. Yeah. On her left hand and her pinky were dismembered. They were taken off. Now, allegedly, on her ring finger was David's name on the side of her finger in red ink. So I guess she had it tattooed, his name tattooed on her finger, and she also had a ring as well, in some pictures. But yeah, so they said when they found her body in that car, her body was already like skeleton. So they knew she had been passed away for a long, long time. Yeah. So this whole situation is crazy to me. So come to find out, y'all. Okay, the so let me go back. So in April of 2025, okay, David ordered from Postmarks in someone else's name, and they know he did it. He used this name Valerie something, and he ordered from Amazon a shovel. He ordered 2 chainsaws. Now he ordered the shovel for Amazon. That was the first order he made. Then he ordered 2 chainsaws. I can't remember where they say he ordered the chainsaws from. Then he ordered, what was it? The chainsaws. Oh, the body bag, the laundry bag, a big laundry bag, and a big blue pool. Now the medical examiner was able to get the pieces from the pool. They were, I guess, in her body still, attached to her body somehow. So um they were able to prove that that pool that he ordered, she must have been in that pool. So, and they're saying they also found her DNA, her blood in David's garage. Okay. Now, in like I think this was around like November, December. David did a live stream with Neo and like two or three other girls. One girl wasn't in the camera view, but it was two other girls that were in the camera view. And David and Neo, they were all in David's house. And David was just walking around the house. I guess he was trying to make sure they stay in a certain area. I mean, now looking at it, you can tell he probably was trying to keep them in a certain area. But he was explaining how he had just went to the bathroom and boo-boo before they came. So that's why it smelled bad in there. And if you look at Neo's face, you can tell David was lying because Neo was like, but I really believe Neo helped him because allegedly the police are saying that they believe it was the second suspect. Okay, it's been reported that um, the police, the prosecution, believe allegedly that there was a second suspect that participated and helped with the whole process. Now, I do know that Neo was, I think this was earlier this year. Neo was brought in to the police department for questioning, and he didn't stay long. And I believe he was the only friend that was brought in for questioning. The police wanted him to come in for questioning. They kept him in there. I think he was there for hours, but not days. Okay. So I'm thinking that they probably just wanted to build a case up against him because remember the police had already went to David about Celeste when she came up missing the first time in in 2023. So there was already something going on there. You know, they already had a case open about this young girl who ran away to be with this man who was grown at the time because he would have been 18, she would have been 13. So they already had a little case going against him. So, and he black, I'm gonna be honest, and he a black guy. I'm pretty sure they kept that case open. Okay? So, yeah, probably just waiting to build a case against him. But just this my thing, y'all. Oh, so I was saying that to say that so when Neo went there to do his interview with the police department, they probably just wanted to give him like immunity so that he can give them any information he may know so that they can use that against David so they can lock him up. Now, it was David's girlfriend, so it all makes sense to me, right? But if someone participated in getting rid of her body, dismembering her, or any of that, I definitely feel like they should be locked up as well. I don't feel like they should get immunity from that because now you got experience doing it. Who's to say you won't try something on your own or that you haven't did that already anyway? I mean, I don't know. That's real dangerous to have that person loose on the streets. But anyway, um, so they had questioned David when she came up missing this time in 2025, but he was on tour. He was going back and forth. He let them know he was on tour. So that's why they didn't lock him up because they didn't really have any evidence at the time. But there was an investigator who was doing a whole lot of policing work on his own. When he heard the story, he just started doing a whole lot of policing, and then he started posting stuff on the internet, and I believe that's when the police said, you know what, okay, we got to make this a case. Plus her family had said she came up missing and they hadn't spoke with her. So I believe the investigator made the case push forward because he was posting stuff. He went to David's house, he took pictures, he was saying how he found out that The Tesla hadn't been there long. He knew, he was showing pictures of the packages that was left on David's porch, which had the same name on it of the items that David ordered, that they're saying David ordered: the body bag, the shovel, the laundry bag, the blue pool, and the 2 chainsaws. 2 chainsaws, y'all. Not one, but two. How did he know he was gonna need two? Did he order one and then ordered another one? If he had 2 chainsaws, I'm thinking, is it two people that was participating in this at the same time? But I'm telling y'all, they want this trial to happen real quick. But I bet you they're not going to include nobody else with this. But it's being reported, or it's being leaked, that they definitely believe he had help. And I'm thinking he would have had to have help, right? Even if he put her body in a pool, how big was this pool? If he's cutting her body with the chainsaw, he gonna cut the bottom of the pool, so then blood gonna get everywhere anyway. So I don't understand. And then he puts her in a trunk, in the front trunk of his Tesla, and park it around the corner from his house. Is his Tesla. She's already been linked to him. Something right there doesn't make sense. That makes me feel like David and Celeste. That makes me feel like that second person probably was in charge of getting rid of the body. Maybe, this is my theory, okay? Maybe that second person who was in charge of getting rid of the body, because maybe the body was still in the house. That's why it was smelling real bad when David had company, and he was, telling people it smelled bad because he pooped, right? But I feel like the person who was supposed to get rid of the body put the body in the Tesla, and the Tesla probably died. Because I'm telling y'all, I rented a Tesla for like about 4 or 5 days, and that was the worst experience ever. I had to charge that car up like twice a day, and the charging fees was not cheap. Okay, I remember paying $25, $30, paying $50. And I was driving the Tesla a lot because I was out of town, so I was doing a lot. It was my birthday week, and I was doing a lot of driving, and that Tesla about pissed me off because I had to charge it twice a day, once in the morning, then once in the evening. That thing would not stay charged, and I was in them streets. Okay, so I'm thinking, my theory is whoever put that body in the car didn't charge that car before they put the body in it. The car probably cut off, because those Teslas will cut off on you. And instead of calling someone to come and charge the car, because you can call, I think Tesla does have like a service where they'll come pick up the car and take the car to a charging station. Like they'll tow it or whatever and take it to a charging station. But the car has the body in it that's, if it's like in a skeletal state, then you already know it smell bad. And it's been reported that the body, when the medical examiners had the body, they said that the body had been frozen. So I'm thinking that's probably why David chopped up the body, because he probably put it in like a deep freezer or a freezer at his house. That's why it was smelling bad, because he probably didn't put nothing down. But I'm thinking this dude has to be the worst criminal in the history of being a criminal, because how did he think he was going to get away with this? That right there is just mind blowing to me. What was the plan? Not that I'm saying that he should have got away with it, but it just don't add up. Because think about it. Get caught being the last one who Celeste saw, because all your phone records showing that you was contacting her, y'all were messaging, y'all was actual, okay, in an actual relationship with the S, because all the text messages prove that you was messing with this young girl underage, even if she was to threaten him, even if she was to tell the whole world that she was messing with him, which I highly doubt that she would have did that. I really doubt that she would have did that. She probably was just upset, but I don't know, because obviously it bothered him to the point where he this murked her and dismembered her whole body. Okay. But he took his cell phone everywhere. He had this girl in his Tesla. That's the Tesla is like it's like being connected with the police department. That's like being on. You know how the police officers, they have the car monitor or whatever you call that thing, and they can hear when they need to be dispatched somewhere. The Tesla is the whole dispatch. It tells you everything. It monitors exactly where you're going. It tracks everything. Why would you do that? Now, she was 14 at the time, but he would have been like 20 or 21. So it just don't, that just, why would you put her body in the Tesla around the corner from your house in your Tesla? I'm just sorry, y'all. That just don't make no sense to me. Then they got photographs in his phone. They found photographs of her and him together in his phone, in her phone. Okay. They tried to subpoena the family, David's family. I guess they wanted to know, from them if they saw Celeste, which we know they have because Celeste went on tour with David, and they showed there's pictures of her or a video of Celeste on stage with him, or she's like behind the curtains watching him perform, and she's with his brother, and they showed her, Celeste, and his little sister walking hand to hand together backstage of a concert, and they're thinking it's the same concert that his sister got on stage with him at because she had the same outfit on. And some would say, "Oh, he probably was in love with this girl," but I'm thinking he wasn't in love with this girl. Couldn't have been. Love wouldn't have did that. Mm-mm. Because if you loved her that much, she wouldn't be talking about, oh, she wouldn't be threatening him like that. So it just don't make sense to me. And I don't understand how he thought he was going to get away with it. And then I'm just thinking, what evidence? Because when you're charged with a crime, not that I know from experience, but I mean, come on, it's common sense, right? When you're charged with the crime, you can either confess or you can go to trial and let a jury decide. Child, you ain't gonna tell me the jury not gonna find this man guilty. Do y'all see any gaps here? Am I missing something? It just don't make sense to me. Um, Let me see what other notes I got here. That's everything. Yeah, I just like, what is the world coming to? Like, that just really don't sit well with me. Okay, and then enough about David, y'all. So let's talk about Ashley Janae Robinson and her family, and the guy Joe McCann, right? So if you don't know, Ashley Robinson went to Zanzibar with her boyfriend for her birthday. And matter of fact, Celeste came up missing. Oh no, Celeste was found a day after her birthday. Okay. Anyway, so um Ashley was murked some, well, no, they're saying that Ashley went to Zanzibar for her birthday. She got proposed there as well. They're saying she took her own life in a hotel after her and her boyfriend had a huge argument, to the point he had to be moved to a different hotel room. She came up lifeless, so they took her to two hospitals, and I think she died like later on that night or morning or something. And then the hotel called her parents and told her parents that she had passed away. Now, before they did that, 11 hours earlier, Joe had called her family and told her something happened to her, but she was at the hospital. So he didn't even explain to them that they found her hanging or whatever, you know, almost lifeless. He didn't even explain. So anyway, the parents didn't go down. Her family did not go to Zanzibar to get her body, to get any of her belongings. They sent for her body to come back to America, to Philadelphia. I guess that's where she was from, Philadelphia. So they sent for her body to come back. They did an autopsy. So I guess we're still waiting to hear about the results from the autopsy. But y'all, she came back just her body, none of her belongings. And this is important because the family wants closure, right? They loved one passed away. They want your belong. I feel like I feel like I would want. Now, if y'all don't know, my husband passed away, and I wanted his stuff from his job. You know, even though his coworkers, they gave his stuff to his parents, which I thought was crazy because they told me they was going to give it to me, which was real childish. But anyway, so I could understand. So that's why I feel the way I feel. I feel like the family should have went to Zanzibar. They should have went down there to look at that hotel room, to double check the evidence, to take a private investigator down there to investigate what happened, to go to the hospitals, to talk to the police. They should have went there. They shouldn't have just got her body shipped back here and just think that's okay. So apparently, allegedly, the dad made a statement saying that when they got her body back, they didn't see the ring. She didn't have her ring, she didn't have none of her belongings. Now, supposedly, a lot of folks were saying on the internet that Ashley had a whole lot of money. So I sell life insurance, right? So I know that Ashley didn't have any dependents. She didn't have any children. So her family is going to have to fight in probate court to get access to like her money and stuff. Just in case you're thinking about like where all her money went, because I'm pretty sure, like, usually when someone passed away, someone would have to call the bank and tell them that person passed away, and then they would close the account. But I'm pretty sure because this case was real big, her accounts probably just got closed because they probably saw her face, knew who she was. But I'm not sure, far as her bank. That's what I'm talking about. So if she had a good bit of money, like everyone's saying, she had a lot of money, she made a lot of money being an influencer. Her parents wouldn't get access to her money if their name is not on the account, because they can't even just use her credit card, debit cards, to get her money from out her accounts, because they should want to get her money from out her accounts so the bank won't just have it, you know. But they'll have to go through probate court to get that. So, but the dad made a statement saying that she came, her body, they brought her body, sent her body back, and she didn't have any of her belongings, not a pocketbook, nothing, and not even the ring. And a lot of people are saying, why did dad care that she didn't have a ring? I'm gonna tell you, I would care, because that says a lot. Her body got returned with none of her private belongings. That lets you know how slack Zanzibar, how the people there, the police are, the medical examiners, everyone. Because why wouldn't you send her stuff back, her personal items? Where is her clothes, her suitcase? What y'all gonna do with it? Why that couldn't have came back in the plane with her body? That don't make sense to me. None of her belongings, her pocketbook, her cell phone. But the family wouldn't need the cell phone to check text messages to find out what happened with the what happened with the relationship, because you can contact the phone carrier, even though the police may have to get rights to that. I'm not sure if the family will be able to get that information from the phone carrier, but in America I know you could do that. But she passed away on different soul, so I don't know. Someone in Zanzibar may have to get that type of evidence to find out from the phone carrier what those text messages look like. Because I'm pretty sure there was some mess going on between them text messages. Because remember, before she passed away, she asked one of the employees at the resort for a charger. So she been texting or making phone calls because she was looking for a charger. Well, who the fuck told you to stop by? Shit, you could have kept going. Don't let me hold you up. You won't come back though. Bet you that. But yeah, so real crazy. And then they're having her memorial next week, I believe next Tuesday. The family is having her memorial service. And I'm thinking, dang, that's mighty damn quick. She just passed away. We ain't even got the autopsy yet. And y'all having a memorial already? Just seem like they're moving real fast to me, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. Seem like they're like, what's the rush? Did y'all get the autopsy back? Now, even with the autopsy coming back, it's nothing that American police can do because everything happened in Zanzibar. This is what I'm hearing. That the American police can't do nothing about what happened in Zanzibar because that's a whole different country. So I guess it makes sense. If it's nothing you can do, go ahead and have a memorial service. But I'm just thinking, Dag, that just seemed real soon. Like I would want more information before I get rid of that body and put that body down. But I don't know. Who am I? Yeah. I just thought that was very interesting. Very interesting. And then on another note, off the murder, death, kill, right? On another note, um, Dame Dash did an interview with Art of Dialogue, and he said that Kevin Hart doesn't own the rights to his name. Did you hear me? Dame Dash says Kevin Hart's sold his name. So he doesn't have the right to his he doesn't have rights to his own name. I didn't even know you could do that. This make me think about when you think about Illuminati, this on a whole nother level. Usually they say they sell their soul. This dude done sold not only his soul, his whole name. So I'm thinking he wouldn't be able to profit off his name. But the way Dame was saying it kind of made it seem like maybe Kevin doesn't have money. Like, maybe he needs money, so he sold his name so he can get some money. I don't know. Y'all can look that up. Just like Dame Dash said, y'all look it up. But apparently it's supposed to be a real thing. Kevin Hart doesn't have ownership of his name. See, a lot of stuff be happening in that industry, all the industry, music, acting, movie, all those industries are the same. They're pretty much the same. And a lot of crazy stuff be going on. And it may sound stupid to us, but it's probably because we don't understand how the game is played. But yeah, I just wanted to bring up that stuff because that whole David situation, I'm thinking they're probably going to give this boy life. And he's so young. Why would you do that, sir? Why would you do that? That was stupid. I'm wondering if this dude's on something? Like on some serious rugs with the D? Like, that just don't make sense to me. I don't know. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it, what y'all think about it in the comment section. I definitely want to get on here and give y'all an update about this situation. I know a lot of people have been talking about it. Y'all already know, I'm going to be following up on this case because I just need to know why. Now, he's not going to admit it, and I'm pretty sure his team of lawyers, they're not going to let him get on the stand. Both sides are going to present the evidence, and then the jury will make a decision. But I'm thinking it's going to be life. It's going to be life because it's probably not going to be life. It's probably going to be death penalty. That's what I'm thinking. Because he's a black boy, even though he's young, he ain't that young because she was super young, okay? And it was the Spanish girl. He gonna get the death penalty. That's what I'm thinking. To me, I think he should. I mean, whew, I can't even imagine what her family is thinking. You know, that's a terrible situation. But I really feel like if there was a second um, suspect, that suspect should be charged as well, depending on what their role is. But anyway, that's how I feel about it. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it in the comment section here. And yeah, that's my little rant. Okay, I had to get that off my chest. All right, y'all tell me what y'all think about it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching my video. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. But y'all can give me some more. I really would appreciate it. Thank you. You guys have an awesome, what's today? Friday? Yeah. You guys have an awesome Friday. Until next time, peace.